Good morning, beautiful people. I hope you're having a fantastic morning. I know I am. Today I want to be talking about God-centeredness and His holiness and what that looks like for us today in our lives and how we can comprehend it. I went to the porch this last Tuesday and got to hear Matt Chandler. Got to hear an amazing message from Matty Chan, and he inspired this and he walked through this text. So I want to do the same because it was awesome. So he is in Exodus 3:14 and 15. A little bit of context. God's people have been enslaved in Egypt, and God says that He sees His people and He wants to come down and bring him out. He's telling this to Moses while he's in the burning bush. And then Moses hears this, and for whatever reason, he's like, God, I don't know if I'm that guy. I'm not the person that can be doing that. You got the wrong guy. And then God says this in a way of reassuring Moses and also declaring His authority in His grace. But here's what it says, Exodus 3:14. And then God said to Moses, I am who I am. And He said, say this to the people of Israel, I am has sent me to you. God also said to Moses, say this to the people of Israel, the Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob has sent me to you. This is my name forever, and thus I am to be remembered throughout all generations. This is where we get the name Yahweh, which essentially translates I am who I am to I be who I be. And a lot of people have, reasonably so, done a lot of research on what does this really mean. And it speaks to a few of the traits of God, kind of the sovereignty of the fact that everything is held into control by God. He has the supreme authority over every existing thing because He is. Because He just is. And it also speaks to the eternal unchangingness of God. He says it, He elaborates on it by saying, this is my name forever, and thus I'm remembered throughout all generations. Like, God has, whenever we look at you and I, we are shaped by things. We are shaped by people. We are shaped by life experiences. We are shaped, whenever you're a baby, you got so many neurons connecting, forming synapses, and like your environments are shaping you, and everything about what's happening to you in the outside world is shaping the person that you become. So we are everlastingly changing. Every second we're changing. We are becoming different in some form or fashion. God isn't shaped by anything. There is nothing that happens that God sees and He's like, oh, I didn't see that coming, maybe I should do this differently. No. God is, He is who He is. I am who I am. I be who I be. So I think that when we look at this text, it's so reassuring that we have a God who is unchanging. Jeremiah 29:11, not 29:11. That's another good one. But Jeremiah 31:3 says that God explains to the Israelites that He has loved them with an everlasting love, and therefore He has continued His faithfulness to them. That's how God feels about us. In moments where feels like everything's out of control in our lives, we can have so much confidence in the fact that we have a never-changing God who's in control of our situation. I look at Moses in this specific moment. He was facing so much insecurity, so many reasons why he believed that this was not a challenge or a task that he was going to be able to perform. And I think it's so cool to look at the way that in which God responded to him, because it was saying, man, this isn't you. Look to your God. I am who I am. Everything exists because of me. I'm in control of the situation. I don't change. I am the authority because I am. And it's such a good reminder for us in our lives that we are not at the center of it. Because a lot of people want to attribute these feelings to God and say, God is love. I think if you ask the majority of people, if there was a God, ask the majority of people, Christian, not Christian, if there was a God, who would it be? And most people would say God is love. And I think based on the way that we have screwed up the word love, people will say that they love their children, and then a couple sentences later they'll say that they love the Dallas Cowboys, or they love a steak, or they love a restaurant. Obviously it's not the same for the two of those words. And what that has become in this broken word of love is God is love, means God is who I want him to be. And when we say that, we are trying to place God into a box of his attributes and who he is. And if that's the case, if God is who I want him to be, then God is no longer unchanging, because he's going to change based on how I change. And we can see the problem there. But what that looks like is a level of holiness in his love. His love is without fault. And because of that, his love is not indifferent from our sin. He has to have a wrath towards our sin. He doesn't hate us, he hates our sin because it is against his holiness. God is holy before you can love. Or I guess a better way to say that is God's holiness is woven into the way that he loves. An example, if I'm a father, whenever I'm a father and I'm cooking something, because I can make dinner too, and I have I have a sweet son who wants to watch me cook, and I'm working at the hot stove and he reaches his hand up to touch the stove, I'm gonna slap it away. In my love, I am going to correct and redirect. There's a fire going on outside. My son, who doesn't know any better, wants to run and touch the fire. I'm gonna pull him back. And he's probably gonna be pretty upset with me in that moment. He might even cry. But I love him, so I don't want him to experience touching the fire and the pain that comes with that. That's what God is to us. Every thou shalt and thou shalt not is an outpouring of his love throughout Scripture. We see it from beginning to end because he is unchanging and he is so good. So I think that the fact that the eternal God, who is so much bigger than the names he mentioned, he's so much bigger than Isaac and Jacob and Abraham. He's so much bigger, and he still tied himself and binded himself to these people. That's so cool to me. The way that God responds to Moses's kind of crisis and insecurity is so cool to me, and so many other things. So that's my main takeaway. Have confidence in the fact that we serve an unchanging God who loves us personally.